The Arsenal management has spent a lot of money on transfers in the past few years to give manager Mikel Arteta the best opportunity of succeeding in the Premier League. The club spent about £100 million on new players this summer alone. David Raya joined when his loan move was made permanent, and Mikel Morino and Ricardo Calafiori joined from Real Sociedad and Bologna, respectively. Nonetheless, the Gunners are currently in third place, tied with Manchester City and only 1 point behind leaders Liverpool, suggesting that the transfer activity has paid off in the first few weeks of the new campaign. We please beg you to subscribe our YouTube channel for more update, with 1 draw and 1 victory in their 2 Champions League encounters with Atlanta and PSG thus far. Arteta's team is still undefeated in all competitions. After the current international break, the fans will be hopeful that they can build on their strong start in Europe and maintain their fantastic performance, with the goal of catching up to the top spot. The team has not yet been severely impacted by injuries, but the Spaniard will be hoping that midfielder Martin Odegaard is getting closer to playing for the first team again after missing the previous 7 games across all competitions due to an ankle injury sustained while playing for his country. One midfield player, though, has been crucial to the Gunners this season and is trying to prove that the high price the team paid for him this summer was worthwhile. Arsenal, who led the Premier League for the great portion of the season, was hoping to improve on their second-place position last summer after ultimately losing out on the championship. They then made the decision to spend a significant amount of money in the transfer market in an attempt to strengthen Arteta's team before the 2023-2024 campaign. The acquisition of West Ham United midfielder Declan Rice for a club record and the largest fee ever paid for an English player, which was more than the £72 million they spent on winger Nicolas Pepe in 2019, a transaction that was a complete bust, since the attacker left the team on a free transfer a few years later. But since moving to North London, the England international has made 60 appearances and scored 8 goals, making him an incredible signing. He has scored some important goals, such as in stoppage time against rivals Manchester United and to cap off a 6-0 triumph over old team West Ham United last season. Rice has been a valuable addition to the midfield for a considerable amount of time, and his goal total since his historic move to the Emirates shows that he is also having a great impact in attacking areas. He has developed into Arteta's ideal box-to-box alternative, giving the team a steady presence in the middle, enabling them to compete in the Premier League and maybe breaking their 2-decade league winless streak. His contract, though, might be overshadowed because the team is aiming to acquire a player for a position they have been frantically trying to strengthen in recent months. Arsenal spent a significant amount of the summer transfer season pursuing a striker, with a number of prospects connected to a move to the capital, but they were eventually unable to finalize any agreements for a new central option. Players like Victor Osimhen and Benjamin Sesko were rumored to be joining Arteta's team, but the former chose to remain at RB Leipzig while the latter chased a move to Saudi Arabia that did not work out. TalkSport claims that the Gunners have a long-standing interest in a move to capture Newcastle striker Alexander Isak, and they may receive an advantage in their pursuit of the 25-year-old. After stalling any prospective new deal at St James Park and showing no signs of progress in negotiations with the Magpies, the world-class Sweden international, as manager Eddie Howe described him, scored 21 league goals last season and put other teams on notice. Although his contract is set to expire in the summer of 2028, his refusal to accept a new one may compel Howe's team to sell their best player in order to keep him from going cheap, given that Arteta's team is anticipated to strive for a new number 9. Any possible deal could surpass the amount spent for Rice in 2023, according to the TalkSport report. He could be able to emulate one of the great Arsenal players who won over many hearts while playing in North London. After spending 8 years at Arsenal, where he scored 228 goals, the most of any player in the team's history, Thierry Henry will likely be remembered as one of the greatest Premier League players of all time. His ability to get past opponents and finish with ease attracted attention, and the fans frequently witnessed his all-around offensive prowess.